Good Sunday morning, everybody. Alfie Carter is back again for the Jollymun Podcast. It's really, really horrendously rainy this morning. It's been rainy yesterday as well. I went for a walk. I picked up a tie for my friend, and it's been all around quite a nice start to my half-term break. I will continue my half-term break with a real density of work and doing schoolwork, but for now I have a little moment of joy where I can sit here and talk to myself in a corner of my house, my mother's house that I live in. And but yeah, I have, don't let this facade of calm, stoic philosophy, don't allow that to blind you to my inner frustrations with regard to losing my national insurance number. That's the real problem. Yesterday I was trying to fill out a form and it said, hey, excuse me, Mr. whatever your name you put on the top of the sheet is, we need you to know what your national insurance number is, and then once you know what your national insurance number is, you need to tell us. And I didn't know what my national insurance number was, so I couldn't tell them. That was the nature of the problem. And I'm like, oh man, I remember getting that piece of paper a long time ago. In fact, almost exactly 2 years ago, when I turned 16. This is my birthday in 3 days, and I'll be turning 18. So 18 minus 16 equals the number I started off with, 2. I was just proving that the 2 was reliable. And so I'm like, oh damn. So I went through all of my I've got like this box full of like bank statements of mine and my driving certificate and all these things. I went through every single piece of paper and I couldn't find it. I remember taking a picture of my national insurance number. I scrolled through my phone. I couldn't find it. And it's because I remember that my phone had a load of issues a while ago where I kind of lost all the pictures on it. And that was my national insurance number. So now I'm in a predicament where I am in need of requesting it to be resent to my house, which would take 15 days, and it's just a load of hassle. And it's one of those things where you're kind of saying, you know what, man, I didn't really ask for a national insurance number. It kind of just gets sent to me and then it's requested from me. This is not how I wanted it to be. I didn't choose this. I was born. I inherited my life. People kept feeding me. It couldn't end. People wouldn't let it end. They kept feeding me. And then I got to a stage where I guess it was in my capability to end this life, but I didn't really understand that yet. And now I'm at a stage where I'm enjoying life, so there's no need to end it. And now I've just inherited a national insurance number. I didn't ask for that. I was just trying to enjoy myself. And I think I've come to a stage in my life where I've realised that there's just so much crap that you just inherit just because you're a legal human being. And they pretend like you're a legal human being, whereas you're actually just an 8-digit code in a governmental multi-database. And the issue there is that the only thing they know about you is the 8-digit code, and the only thing you don't know about yourself is the 8-digit code. There's the dissonance I was talking about. Because I know a lot of things about myself. If they said, excuse me, to verify your tax and to verify that you can work for us, we need you to state your third, 3 pets you've ever owned. Or, excuse me, would you be able to comment on a holiday you have utmost enjoyed? This is something I could do quite comfortably with no stress, no digits involved, no memory, no unnecessarily bland emails back and forth with a governmental agency. However, that's not the way the world works, and I was a little bit annoyed. I was getting a bit frustrated. I met an Australian comic at my gig on Friday. He's a great guy, so I guess he's or maybe I just mispronounced the word. That's probably more likely. And so yeah, I was a bit frustrated last night. I lay down on my bed and I had a little moment where I've been reading Stoic stuff. So I had a little point where I was like, okay, Alfie, this is a problem that is out of your control, which is kind of why you're frustrated. And it is silly to be frustrated at something that is out of your control. You have learnt a lesson here, and everything. Then I heard Marcus Aurelius. He well, I read it in his book, but I will personify him as the book, and he was telling me, he said, nothing that happens is not in accordance with the whole. And I thought, yes, maybe this is correct. Maybe this world-renowned literature and philosophy has some truth in it. So I thought, I'm learning something here, which is a beautiful, beautiful realization. I haven't been that funny today, but it's rainy, and I think sometimes there's an importance to bring the energy down. And there are gigs online on this channel itself, even if you want to see me upbeat, high energy, making some people laugh, especially the Up the Creek gig. Oh, I'll talk about the Up the Creek gig. That was so damn fun, man. Oh, I loved it so much. All the comics were good. There was like a lot of people passed. Everyone was just killing. You had a 2-room with like 300 people just laughing like hell. It's just so exciting. At my level of comedy career, you never really see like a comedy club booming. But I think I saw a comedy club booming, and I was part of it, which is even more astounding to me. And yes, the guy goes on, the guy before me was actually a really bit of an odd guy. I don't know. I get the feeling he was like intensely depressed or something, because all his jokes were about like killing himself, and it's really quite intense. The audience was taken aback. Anyway, so then they put up the cards, and he got the lights went out. And he had to leave the stage because he was not entertaining people, which is how the Gong Show works. You have to, if you stay on stage if you're entertaining, and you leave once it's done, and if you are in quotation marks entertaining for 5 minutes, then you've passed, and it's a pat on the back. And you walk off stage, and you walk towards a corner where all the comics are, and you all kind of like not high five, what's that? It's you clasp hands, but not a handshake. Imagine you took a handshake, but you made it kind of more vertical. It's just a bit cooler, really. Oh yeah, and then so there's this really kind of miserable guy who was on before me. And then I was up next, and I was like, man, this guy really contradicts the energy I was feeling right now, so I need to play into our differences. Anyway, so I jumped on stage, and I said something like, a bit more jolly, I was something a bit more, I think I did say jolly, if you got a little giggle, and then I just rode a wave of mucking about, walking around, saying things again and again. It's all a bit chaotic, but I really do enjoy that. Yeah, that was great. That's such a, and also because I really wanted, because up until this point I can say, yeah, maybe people laugh, but to say that you passed the Gong Show, it's like it's a quantifiable, like you've cemented, yes, okay, you are actually good, because people could have got you off stage but they didn't, kind of thing. And I'm just gonna do a little quote now from the book, my little lines I write for the podcast, nothing else. I've written a couple recently. I quite enjoyed writing them. Okay, so we have, which should we go for? We could have, this one. So the verb to fart can be replaced with to eject an egregious entity. So that's quite a good one. How do you know that Neptune approves of a product? It is Trident tested. Trident, I don't know. There we are. Oh, I did 2. I was only meant to do 1. And now for the rest of my day. And yesterday, quite a funny thing happened. So my best friend Narlin, went round to his house to go. He shaves my head, as you can see in the podcast picture. I've got a shaved head, and so he shaved my head, all sorted, no problems. And then he wanted me to cut his hair, which is fine. But he's actually got hair, so for me, he wanted to shorten the sides and kind of, but with scissors, so because he didn't want to use them with shave. And I've never used scissors before in a hair cutting environment. I've used them with nails, paper, other kind of quite slim and flat planes of matter, but not hair. I did a pretty damn good job. I was really happy with it. It did look a little bit silly. No, it didn't look silly. It looked silly because he didn't let me cut the top, which is such a silly thing. It's like, excuse me, you can't ask your barber, excuse me, can you only cut the sides, but it needs to still be in accordance with the top, because that's not how it works. You have to, you have to keep it all proportional. You can't go, if you went to the car washer man and you said, hey, yo, I want my wheels to be blinding on a sunny day, but I really like it when my door's just a bit muddy. It's just a bit silly, really, isn't it? It's bad for business. And anyway, so this morning he calls me up and he says, yeah, he wants me to shave his hair all off. So turns out he wasn't as happy with the trim as he initially felt. Maybe he was trying to lie to himself. But he genuinely, he just said that he didn't. He just wanted to shave his head. He just didn't really have time for. He just fed up of having to make this mass on his head be in order. Yeah, there must be a lot of damn hair in the world, just constantly oozing out of our scalps. Like, I mean, you know, all these Tresemme companies, they're really fortunate that we got hair, because they make a lot of money from the fact that we got hair. They really do rake it in, just because. I don't know, where did it all go? Because everyone is just pushing hair out their head. Unconsciously, they can't even choose. You know, when you go to sleep and there are a lot of things that you're like, oh man, I can relax. Hair follicles have no rest. Even during sleep, they're working at it. Maybe it stops during sleep. I don't know, it's quite a hard thing to measure, I assume. After this, I need to go shopping. In fact, I just squeezed this in now because I really enjoy recording my podcasts. I really enjoy recording my podcast when there is nobody else in the house, or it's just my mum that I live with, because I feel a little bit more free, I guess. So I need to go shopping to buy eggs, and yeah. So what else could I talk about? Oh yeah, and the reason that's the national insurance number. The only reason, this is the problem. The only reason I needed my national insurance number is because of my Manchester University interview got cancelled, right? So I worked my fucking ass off, right, to get an interview in Manchester. Right, I did well in my AS. I got really good predicted grades. I sweated like a motherfucker, right, and I get my interview. I'm like, oh hell yeah, I got my interview. Eureka, man. We're crushing it. So I worked hard, and then they cancel it, and now I'm in the hassle again of having to go through a form to get my national insurance number sent to me. I need to be a bit more easy to understand. My national insurance number to be sent to me. But yeah, I think I'm going to end the podcast here. Thank you everyone for listening. I hope you all have a lovely week and half term and break. And it's my birthday on the 19th, so it's got some great things to look forward to. Thank you. I love you all. Goodbye.